might have more leeway here, but unfortunately, the township's been notified that the road is unsafe. So if we go and open that road, we have a report saying that, hey, if someone gets hurt, we were notified that it was unsafe, and we're gonna be
Well,
liable.
you're gonna have
So,
bicycles running up and down there.
it's a different situation with
No,
that.
there's,
I don't know if it's pedestrian.
There's logs, there's sticks all over the road that has to be cleaned up. Evidently, Tag told me the guys are gonna come out and
The
help
road
clean it
dealt with
up.
traffic,
Huh?
it was a traffic study for cars and vehicles, that's what the traffic study was for, that's the unsafe part that the township's been
But I'm just
notified. If
telling
we
you,
didn't have that,
Mr.
we
Porter,
probably could.
that there's backhoe, and I think you know enough about weight of equipment.
Yeah, but buddy, the report
Well,
trumps
what
backhoe.
we're trying to do is just
It
get
does.
one side of the road so
Correct.
people can go up and down there. Emergency vehicles,
Yes.
all right?
And we're trying to make it
Emergency
safe for
vehicle,
everybody.
ambulance should be able to go up
Right.
and down there instead of going all the way around.
I agree, buddy, I would like the road
Yeah,
open too, the report is what hurts us right now from doing anything, because we've been notified that it's unsafe. So if we go and open the road up, someone can use that report against the township and say, hey, you knew it was unsafe when
We
you
shouldn't
opened
open
that
it
up.
up for anybody then.
Well, we're seeing if we can, that's what
Just
we're
trying to
trying,
see
we're
if we
trying to
can.
see if we can.
And then
Yeah,
so you
well, I'd
got
like to see it
bicycles.
open,
Yeah.
you know?
Right. Mr. Cook, I guess the mic's not working tonight, so you have to speak up a little,
How come my-
please.
That doesn't work.
You can still
You
pretend
want
to
my
speak.
glasses to see? Huh? That is just- Well, at least it looks better than the last one it was, with the paper one.
Yeah, Dennis Crook, Planning Commission this morning.
Speak up, Rick.
We have two major items we went through at the Planning Commission. One was the official township map, like I talked to you last time. And we got a letter back from Mr. Ott finally, in his proposal for that. The Planning Commission recommends that we go ahead with putting an official map together. We tried a couple other sources, I think, from the office.
Did any of them pan out as far as getting a quote? I mean, we just have the one here before us,
Yeah, I
so
know.
I'd rather see more.
Well,
The ones
Lisa
that-
has her email that she gave to the board of other companies that were used. I saw your email, from the Secretaries Association, there's a number of different ones on.
It was the one which was recommendations to go over to the county. I used their official map, that's kind of what I was talking about last time. You get that as a base, and then you turn around and try to bring it here. You still have to go through a process to make sure that all the roads are named the way you want them, and different areas are named the way they want them. Make sure all the things are in order, that you call that an official map. I don't know, I still have not seen the older version of our official map anywhere, so, you know, it's something that's kind of long overdue, but he sent that with a quote and some of the procedures and some of the things they needed to do. It was like a 3-month process, I think, from what he was talking about, and we also have to go in coordination with the solicitor for making public meetings and all the other stuff, which is something else that we need to get through eventually. It'll help on a lot of other things too. I guess it's a base thing.
Can I stop you for a second, Dennis? So Mike, is there a definition with the MPC of the official map?
There it is, yes.
Okay, because I saw some of the municipalities responding to Lisa, they were just putting up a zoning map, or, you know, they're just putting up different things, but there
Yeah.
is a definition of it in the MPC.
There's a
Okay.
definition that's separate from your zoning map.
Okay,
yes.
gotcha, all right.
A lot of township staff members start to use the terms interchangeably, but there's a distinction between the two.
Okay, thanks, Dennis.
The other thing is, we also discussed the master planner program, which I spoke with you in the last 2 or 3 meetings. Brought Mr. Will Stevens tonight from Chester County 20. He's here for any questions you have or anything else to put through this motion as a proposal planning commission was behind this, and we'd like to see this implemented. And I think it would help the township in a number of different ways, language, and get us on the same page for going forward and what the real importance, I think, for the planning in our township.
There's two quick thoughts I had off the top of my head off that. One, I thought we approved you going ahead with that. I don't know if you remember, but I thought we voted on something similar regarding the master planner program. But the second was,
I think we just gave it verbal.
verbal,
I
okay.
think it was a verbal something in the
Okay,
budget.
I remember talking about it. But the other thing is, I think you were saying was, is it going to be held here? And was gonna be opened up to other municipalities, or is that a?
I think we just stepped into my department.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm William Stevens. I live in Wallace, though I go all over the county, and I'm happy to be here. Glad I've known Dennis for a long time, and have known a lot of people in East Fallowfield, though this is a new group of faces to me. The Master Planner program has two flavors, and one is the standard sponsored program, and we present that together with Westchester University, and Cato sponsors it, PSAB out in Harrisburg sponsors it, and the university is our most valuable sponsor because, the County Planning Commission helps promote it. The university gives us free classroom space, and that means we can be one of the, I think currently 3 counties in the Commonwealth that have the luxury of running the program just like it was a school course. We do it like a clock. We have the basic community planning course in October. We do a zoning course in March. We do a subdivision course in May. And that's just to be like a convenient public utility for people in Chester County and the region. However, sometimes municipalities or even business groups have a need or a desire not to conform to the regular class schedule, and we can deliver the program to the venue of your choice. For example, Tredyffrin in Willistown a few years ago decided that they wanted to stage it at a time that suited, they wanted some of their brand new planning commission members, and I think at least one new staffer, to get trained promptly. So we used the Tredyffrin Township building, we filled out the class with folks from Willistown, and we did a whole separate course at their convenience, and that's a one-off. And we can do that anytime, any place. There are also 2 flavors of unsponsored courses, and I want to reassure you, I actually printed out just a 1-page in a big font that spells it all out. I can leave it with Lisa or leave it up here with you, and I made abundant copies. For those townships that want to find a lower cost alternative and want to consider doing some of the sweat equity of the course themselves, that instead of paying the standard per student registration fee, which is $155, they can purchase the instruction and course materials service for a flat rate of $1,650. So you can easily figure just about in your head what number of students makes that a bargain or not. I do not have a dog in this hunt here. I have a friendship for all our municipalities, and we had, in my home municipality, we have our challenges, and I am the executive director of a nonprofit. We're a charity, so though we do collect these registration fees from the regular course in order to support our program, it's not like a thing we make money on. And so I wanted to offer your township those 3 alternatives. I would suggest that it kind of makes sense if you're only going to have a few students. It's very convenient to send them to the Westchester courses, which for this session are October 6th, 13th, and 21st, which is also on this piece of paper. I don't want to make you guys copy down like a big phone message. Okay. But if you feel confident that you can provide a venue and provide refreshments, which I urge you to consider seriously because they're 3-hour classes, and people will drop like flies at about 1.5 hours if you don't give them something to eat. We feed them as part of the registration fee, and we provide a number of other services. But think about those alternatives, and because I'm a friend of the township, if you decide to do it with you guys assuming the bulk of the responsibility, I will help facilitate it, working with Dennis as a volunteer. Now, that doesn't mean I'm gonna buy you a sandwich tray, but I'll pick it up and bring it to you every class night. A few things I can do like that to help. So it's up to the township to make a choice, and I'm ready to help. And when I get back to my office, which I'm gonna have to leave for soon for a telephone conversation, I'll send to the supervisor's common email address a thank you with all my contact information, and we can continue to chat, and Dennis and I are in frequent touch with each other. So I think that's about the summary of this whole, oh, but I gotta recite two things. I always forget this, and then I remember it. The municipality's code is the core of the curriculum. And we have a very talented group called the Pennsylvania Municipal Education Institute that is very experienced educators and planners. And one of their jobs is they always have the freshest, most steaming, wriggling copy of the MPC. Generally, much more up to date than what you could get if you ordered it from Harrisburg, because they go to Harrisburg and they get their copy and then they reproduce it themselves. So master planner students will have the latest and greatest information as the basis for their instruction. The other thing that's real important, though is less tangible, when you attend a master planner course, in particular one at the university, your classmates are all people who are wearing the same moccasins you are from all over the county. And a very, very valuable part of the interplay between the students is the exchange of success and horror stories. There's one other thing. We've worked very hard to get this course approved for continuing education credit. So if you're an attorney or an engineer or a realtor or a licensed landscape architect or an appraiser, you can meet your annual CEU requirements. It's relatively inexpensive as CEUs go, but the trade-off is it's a 10-hour class. We usually manage to compress it to 9 hours in 3 sessions and still get you the credit because typically the students, the instructor agree to work through lunch. But that's a very valuable thing. So I've really recited all the main points, and are there any questions that come to mind right now?
Yeah,
Yes?
so, all right. With your costs, I'm seeing here registration for the online course is $150.
It's not online. Your students must go to the university.
Oh, it's online to register? Okay,
Yes.
I got you,
Yeah.
okay, so that's the one to go to the university, it's
It's
$150
$155.
for each person, and that's the total fee for that
That's-
particular person for that time?
Yeah, that's the total fee, and the extra benefit you get is we take care of all the refreshments, we manage all the record keeping. If a student needs to make up a course, because sometimes working adults can't make every class session, we make sure that they get to make up their course at any time, anywhere in the Commonwealth, for no additional fee. So we can't promise they'll get an additional lunch if they go to Scranton or something like that. So that's $155 if it's a township check. It's $158 if it's online, because the way our payment system
I
works,
see what
they
you're
hit us up. I can arrange for you to have an instructor or instructors come here with the course materials for $1,650. The trade-off there is you're on the hook for the sandwiches, though I'll help you with them. You're on the hook for tracking it all, and of course you're responsible for the venue, which has sometimes been a problem in the past if, a group of students don't lock a building after them and then a township's unhappy. But that's entirely up to you. But I,
Regardless of the amount of people, correct?
that is correct. That is correct. We recommend, the arithmetic will tell you what the break-even point is, but we recommend you try to assemble a class of at least like 15 students, because that interplay is so important. It'd be kind of dumb to have 2 instructors and an empty beer crate full of course materials and 3 people staring at it. I think I told you, the standard course starts up in October, so, there are a couple of months for you guys to think about it. And I can set up the delivery of instructors and course materials to your venue fairly quickly also. We have the State Association of Boroughs actually does the instructor scheduling, but you know, I work with them all the time. Now, one of the things that Dennis and I were chatting about is this. It's not a good idea to spread this out too much over the calendar. We typically like to stage our courses at the university on the same day of 3 subsequent weeks, because, you know, people say, okay, I can come every Thursday this month, or something like that. We can shift back and forth a few days, but to have, say, 1 day a month over a period of 3 months, that would really, the experience would not be good. And in fact, our instructors are reluctant to do that. They like to get it done within a few weeks. So, any other questions? Anybody else?
I have a question. Should I walk up to the non-microphone?
Not at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
This is a question for me
I
or?
just have I have a couple of questions, if I may. Number one, how long has the program been in effect?
The classes have been available through the Municipal Planning Education Institute, I think for maybe over 15 years. However, we started presenting it in Chester County in 2003, I believe. I mean, I have to look, but I've been running it since it started.
And number two, what are the metrics with regards to how it's improved governments or the efficiency of the township? And
Well, I can get you what metrics are available from this organization, PMPEI. I rely on anecdotal information because it's just easy for me to pick up the phone and ask people how they're doing. We get a lot of nice emails from people who, generally, the assessment is, this has made my job easier. And we were just talking about the official map. That's one very tiny example of one little tiny bit of classroom discussion, but the explanation of the official map is part of the basic community planning course curriculum. It deals with things like the roles of the various boards in a municipality, and it can be any municipality, and it's to impart to all the municipal officials a notion as to how they're supposed to conduct business, what they can do, what they can't do. And I remember when I took an interest in municipal government when I was a Boy Scout, so we were going back, embarrassingly, we're going back significantly over 50 years. I went to my township building, and my township supervisor at that time said, hey, if you have a pulse, you can serve on our township board. And it was simpler then, it's not so simple now. But one of the things we have observed, and this is, if you give me, Dennis, this is especially true of planning commissions. The planning commission is a volunteer position. And very often, there will be people who've been on a planning commission for a long time, and they may have their own rather peculiar notion of what the municipality's code is all about and how it works. And they love to welcome a new member, also known as a virgin in local government, take them under their wing, and teach them their unique version of the municipality's code, which I've seen actually up in my township sometimes get really crazy. We had some people on our planning commission at one time who thought once you and your friends moved into the township, by golly, you could slam the door shut behind you. And that's a very popular myth. The municipality's code doesn't allow you to do that. That's an extreme example. So I would be, write down my email address.
Well, wait a minute, I'm not going to, no, I'm just bringing up some questions here.
No, what I want to do is I want to put you in touch with the PMPEI, and they can metric you right into the ground.
Well, with the municipal code, is that an official document? Or is that something that's written?
What's a correct way to describe the municipality's
You have to follow
code?
line item by?
Sure, it's called the Municipalities Planning Code.
It would have to be.
It's available online from the Department of Community and Economic Development. If you go to newpa.com, NEWPA.com.
And the other thing is, with regards to references of other townships that have been through this program, has it really helped, other than anecdotally?
Yeah.
I mean, something that's really official, has it made them more efficient and better performing? I don't know. Many times I've been to various programs, and it's very good, they're interesting and enjoyable and so forth, but there's really little, and you can take home some stuff, but none of it you can apply very much.
Would it
A lot of
be,
it's just really opinion, fact, and so forth.
would it be
but,
inappropriate for me to put this citizen in touch with some
Oh,
townships that have significant, no, really, just hook you up by email, talk to Marty Shane at East Goshen, might be someone with a lot of experience in this. I mean, I'm here, I'm not running this meeting, I just,
No.
And
I
my
mean, you can-
last question, other people, is what university you're talking about?
Penn State.
Oh, okay.
Should I address the chair or address the gentleman here?
You can address the gentleman
Thank
with your
you, sir.
question.
In reference to the townships around here, we have West Marlboro, Doolittle,
Mhm.
Salisbury,
Yeah,
Modena, which is a borough.
yep,
We only have one first-class township, and that's Callan Township, and I think you're aware of that.
yep.
Second-class township code book describes what the planning commission is, what road department is, what the jobs of supervisors are. That hadn't changed since
Yeah.
1960, a lot of,
Yeah.
they make amendments to it. So what you're telling me, I want you to tell me, what townships have you worked with around here? City of Coatesville, you know, townships that we deal with all the time, West Marlboro,
Well,
New Lynn, Salisbury,
right
Highland
off
Township.
the top of my head, I think, I can only remember right now, I got records of all this, but I can only remember one person from Highland. A number of staff and, volunteer board members from Coatesville have attended the program over the years. West Bradford certainly, Newland, I'm kinda thinking Newland, we've had maybe 4 or 5, but I have records of all.
Osborne was there 45 years, he was a supervisor, so I do know New Lynn pretty good. And I know none of them have been involved in this,
None of
but
the
they've been
new
involved in the
townships,
county.
Planning commission members?
Yeah, planning commission, because they used to have it up the garage and right side up.
Well, let's, again, you know what, we have a website, and I do not carry the registration details, the class rosters around in my head, but it's Chester County 2020, and I think it's public information, who's gone when, and we run scores of students through every year. Our average
Well, I'm
class
sure
size-
Westchester University, what you were talking about.
Now, remember, Westchester University has nothing to do with putting the program together. They provide us with free classroom space.
Mhm.
The program is developed with support from Penn State University through the extension.
Okay.
So that's a different,
You have
Westchester,
enough copy for a resident to look at one of those?
Yeah, if you have copies of.
If not, maybe the secretary can make a copy.
why don't I hand the secretary this stack of copies, would that be appropriate?
That's fine.
And I like to research some too.
All right? I feel like
Ms. Scott?
I have no question of Mr. Stevens, but I'd like to address the matter to the board.
Okay, well, we're gonna make some motions on it here in a minute. You can
Okay,
do it then.
great.
You can make your comments then when we make the motion,
Thank you.
as far as if you're talking about the official map and the
No,
master planner
no,
program.
Nothing to do with the map, it's to do with Mr. Stevens' presentation and Mr. Crook's. I do recall this board stating that Mr. Crook could attend at township cost the training program that Mr. Stevens is referring to.
Mhm.
Secondly, I'm more than a friend of this township. As you know, Mr. Porter, you've probably attended the Chester County 2020 Private Land Trust meeting by Nancy Moore.
I attended the one with a lot of people over at the elementary school.
Correct, and we, the township taxpayers, paid for all that. That was just a meeting, that was something that
Yeah, I was
the organization.
there. I remember.
Yes, I remember you
Yeah.
too. The organization presented at a cost to the taxpayers, so we were all, quote, educated. I would vehemently object to us spending any money to educate people who want, or maybe don't want, to attend. Because I would tell you, I attended the master planner course back when George Basic and a Mr. Davis conducted it, way before
Yeah, I
the
would, yeah.
Chester County 2020 Private Land Trust, which I call a bureaucracy of concentrated wealth.
Okay,
And I would say that I would object to any
It's a free
further time wasted on organizing a quote educational program, because I, as a taxpayer, I expect you, the board, to educate yourselves on matters. Mr. Dennis can be further educated because you approved him to go to it. So, hello, the expense is over, and the time wasted on chit-chatting about it, I feel should be over.
I'll make the motions here we have, unless, just quickly on the official map. First, I'll make a motion to approve Ray Ott's proposal to prepare the East Fallowfield Township official map and ordinance for a not-to-exceed fee of $5,400. Do I have a second? Questions or comments?
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
This is for the official map,
Yeah, $100 or something?
5,400,
54 for the map.
yes, not-to-exceed fee for the official map.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes, you may.
That's the official map, you know.
That's not the official map.
Pardon?
I believe that's not the official map, we don't
Well,
have
the
it.
official map you have in the Township Planning Commission, and I see the developments in there. We hadn't had too many new development. You have Brittany Station and a couple other ones, you know, a couple, of course, Strunk's property. But other than that, we have problems with property lines in the township. We have problems with roadmaster not knowing where the line is, and may question the line in reference to South Coastal. You have a problem in Morganville, all right, where you have a tree outfit, and there's a line there that we knew for over 70 years used to go between Sparrows and the barn, which now is a private house. He gets permits from New Lynn. It should have been from East Fallowfield. That's in East Fallowfield, so it's a neglect of the Township Planning Commission or the Township Zoning Officer not policing the zoning, and you have to know where your lines are. We happen to know where our lines are up there in Stottsville. It's not right, it's right before that track, the railroad track, all right? And when you go down the road, what the gentleman talked about, you know, not that many traffic, but there's less traffic on Fairview Road, Temecula Road, because actually that's where the Johnson boys killed a couple of people down that road. But in reference to that road there, you know, there's a line back there. Actually, that goes back to cul-de-sac. And the old railroad is actually the line between East Fallowfield and Highland Township. All right, so the supervisors should know. And that's one thing that was great about, and I'm not saying it's definitely not TAG's fault, it's the Board of Supervisors and the time, the commitment, all right? I know supervisors before had jobs, myself included, but we took a Saturday off and rode around with the zoning, with the road department, you know, roadmaster at that time, and we picked out the roads that need to be done, all right? Instead of leaving it up, not to say I'm not taking the expertise from TAG, of course, he's been in construction for a good while, but in reference to the township, to know what the needs are. And also, there's some other items that need to be addressed in this township that have been neglected and put off for years. And all of a sudden it comes up, and if somebody says something negative that you don't like, you know something, I fought for this country, and a lot of other ones out here did. I fought for freedom of speech, all right? And I'm not going to be dictated by, I'm going to be courteous, because I'm the one that brought the Robert rules to you. I'm going to be courteous to the board, but I want the board to be courteous to the residents, all right? Thank you.
Any other questions or comments regarding the official map proposal?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mrs. Scott?
I would object. Here is another situation, a proposal by one person. Just like when you said you're gonna, for professional service, you're gonna get proposals. You only got one. And I don't even, how critical is it that we need an official map? And we've been operating long without, quote, the official map. And here is Mr. Ott. I found his, when he presented his comprehensive plan of the township, I thought that was extremely poorly done. He faced the Board of Supervisors, did not face the public. We couldn't even hear. We didn't get a fair amount of opportunity to communicate with him. And again, I figure he is a select person, and for a select purpose. And I just feel some people are here just doling out money to unnecessary proposals, unnecessary items. So I would object to Mr. Ott particularly being selected to do it. And secondly, what purpose does it meet? What purpose does it serve?
I think you had something.
I have one question. With regards to tax maps over in Westchester for the county, don't they have an official map for the township? That actually, I mean, they are so specific with regards to everything, that one thinks this could be redundant and maybe not totally necessary with regard